get right to the site. Welcome to CBS Sports Baseball Insider Jim Bowden. Jim, what a game. Your reaction as you watch that go down?
Keem, just a phenomenal game. And look, I give manager Brian Snitker a lot of credit getting Dylan Lee out quick after 4 batters. He didn't play around. He went right to Kyle Wright in the bullpen, and Kyle Wright really battled and gave them the length that he needed to give them a chance. And then, of course, you're sitting there down 2-0, you get a run, and then in the bottom of that 7th inning, they go back-to-back homers. Dansby Swanson, that was a fastball, a little bit outside. He choked up, went the other way. That was a really good at-bat by Swanson. Then they made a mistake and gave Soler a slider. They hung it, unfortunately, and they sped up his bat, and all of a sudden they took the lead. But, you know, this World Series, Akeem, reminds me a lot of our 1990 World Championship with the Cincinnati Reds. The Oakland A's were heavy favorites. They had a lineup with the Bash brothers that was very similar to the Houston Astros lineup. But we had Myers, Charlton, and Dibble in the back end, and we ended up sweeping Oakland. And you look at this team right now, Braves bullpen is just better than the Astros. And at the back end tonight, Matzik and Jackson and Will Smith did what they've done the whole postseason. They ran the table, they shut down the Astros lineup, and ball game is over. Now they're up 3-1. There is no chance of the Houston Astros coming back in this series. David Sampson's prediction is absolutely going to come true. There is going to be a World Championship in Atlanta. And think about this, Akeem. Their #1 starter, Mike Soroka, goes down early in the year. Their #1 position player, Ronald Acuna, goes down. Marcell Ozuna has legal problems. And GM Alex Anthopoulos goes out at the deadline and trades for Eddie Rosario, who made the best catch of the World Series. And what did he do? He traded for Jorge Soler, who, by the way, hit the home run to give them the lead. Give the GM a lot of credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Dansby Swanson, Jorge Soler, first number 8 and 9 hitters to hit back-to-back home runs in World Series history. Bottom of the order production. You love to see it. What you don't love to see if you're a Houston Astros fan is 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, 11 left on base, and the fact that they were only able to get 1 run in that first inning with the bases loaded, I mean, that was an absolute turning point, Jim, in this game.
It was a turning point, and again, Brian Snitker was able to get Kyle Wright to come in, who, you know, did give up the run on the ground ball, but then basically shut him down. And then fast forward to the 5th inning when they were threatening again, and he intentionally walked Gurriel, and that was a big move because, again, that was an opportunity. So when you look at a team that struggles with runners in scoring position, credit the relief pitching of the Atlanta Braves to be able to shut the door every time they started to get a rally. They executed pitches when they had to. They intentionally walked when they needed to. When they had to pitch around a hitter, they did that. They had a great game plan going in. And then to watch, you know, Will Smith, even in that 9th inning, it's a 1-run game. They have a chance, and he sits there with Alvarez and pitches backwards, throws slider, a curveball, and then finishes them off with a fastball and just freezes them. I mean, the game plan they had was phenomenal. The management was incredible. And I got to tell you, the scene here at Truist Park, Hakeem, 43,000 plus. It was the loudest 43,000 I've ever heard. Now, granted, they all started drinking around noon at the Battery. They were all watching college football during the day. They watched University of Georgia win that game, as CBS Sports HQ has talked about throughout the day. And so there are a lot of people that are having a lot of fun. But I'll tell you, it was as loud as I've ever seen 43,000 people.
Look, the World Series MVP goes to one person. But at this point, you give it to the Braves bullpen if they can close this out. I want to read the numbers here. Atlanta's relievers in the World Series, 22 1/3 innings, a 1.61 ERA, and a lot of credit again to Kyle Wright, 4 2/3, picking up the slack for the opener, Dylan Lee. And of course, we didn't expect a whole lot from him, but Kyle Wright picks it up. They didn't have to use A.J. Minter in this game, and this Atlanta Braves bullpen has been excellent, Jim.
Yeah, and let's talk about how they prepared Kyle Wright, because they knew they needed to have depth. So what they did is they had him on the Gwinnett roster, and he was pitching in front of nobody, but they stretched him out with the idea if they had injuries or they needed him and they needed to put him on the roster, they would be able to get length from him. So it was great planning by the Braves front office and the coaching staff in making sure that he was able to give length in this game. And that could not have been done had they not put him at the alternate site and had him been working like they did. So credit them for preparing, and credit Wright. You know, when he came in that first relief appearance in the World Series and was throwing 96, 97 with a curveball, we talked to Brian Snitker right after the game. He was so impressed that we knew that he was going to be a big part of this game. We knew he was going to get bulk innings here, and he certainly lived up to those expectations.
Braves can clinch the World Series on Sunday night. Jim Bowden will be there Sunday for us here on CBS Sports HQ. Jim, great stuff as always. Appreciate it here as you join us to wrap up Game 4 of the World Series. Braves with a 3-1 series lead again. They're one win away from their first World Series title since 1995. But it ain't over until it's over. Here's a look at the teams to win the World Series after facing a 3-1 series deficit, and you don't have to go back very far to see a team that did so. The Chicago Cubs broke my heart in 2016. They were down 3-1 against the Cleveland Indians. They came back, won in Game 7. It was raining. It was absolute bonkers. The Cubs, the latest to do it, will the Houston Astros make history this year? Wait to see, in the words of David Sampson.